Hello everybody, my name is Sophie and welcome back to another episode of the Book Hater Club podcast. We have gathered here today for episode number, you have to say it, 17 maybe? 18 of course, episode number 18. And it's a very special episode because today we celebrate 1 year of the Book Hater Club podcast. And I wish I had the passion, not the passion, that's the wrong word, but I wish I had the skills also just to make a montage of the best moments of the Book Hater Club podcast. But accumulated, it's probably like maybe, I don't know how long my episodes usually are, like an hour at least, but some are under an hour. Would we say it's like 25 hours of content? I don't have the time for that. But that being said, welcome to today's episode. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it's been 1 year. And so this is number 18. We've done 18 episodes in 1 year. It's not exactly a year. I think the first episode uploaded on the 19th of March of last year, of 2023. But I don't know when the next episode is going to come out. And it's going to be after the 19th. So it's like a pre-birthday. Which one's more bad luck? Probably the one before, if you say it early and not after. Anyway, doesn't matter. Welcome to today's episode, guys. I am so happy to see you guys. I haven't heard from you guys in so long. I haven't posted a video in so long. It's just been a week, girl. I'm being dramatic, but in case you haven't noticed, I've been trying to do like videos a little bit more consistently starting this year. I made a plan. I'm looking at it right now. It's on a whiteboard. It just says film, edit, upload. Film, edit, upload. I wasn't able to do it. And I feel bad, right? So I just wanted to mention that. Like, I've been trying, but my uni just started again. This week was the first week of uni, and there's been some things going on privately that, like, everything's fine, but my time's been very occupied, if that's the right way to express it. And usually I wouldn't feel so bad because I would be like, okay, like, I'm busy, like, people get it, you know, if you're busy, you're busy. But I'm at a point where I have members. I have the official members of the Book Hater Club, and I'm getting basically paid monthly by my members, right? And they're paying for benefits, and then it's like, if I'm not uploading, they're going to come to my house and fight me for their money back. So then I feel even worse, like, I'm not taking your money and running. You don't have to worry about that. It's just been very, very busy, and I've also just not been in the mood because of the things that have been going on I just want to sleep. So we're starting off on a great note, but now I'm sitting here. I'm committing. I have to get up in 5 hours to work. It doesn't matter, guys. For you, I will commit to anything. I'll read the worst books in existence. But what are today's topics before I even go on a bigger tangent? I wanted to discuss that it's like, 1 year anniversary, and then I have a little fun, well, you can decide if it's fun, a little fun topic, and then, because I don't want to make this one so long, I want to have it be a short, well, it's going to be a very big yapping episode. I'm just going to be yapping a lot. I want to talk about the lifestyle influencer to book influencer pipeline, because I have a good reason. I saw someone talk about it on TikTok, and then I got so mad because they talked about the tweet that someone made. So someone on Twitter was talking about it, and then they were talking about it on TikTok. And I got so mad because I've been thinking this. I've been thinking about it. How so many lifestyle influencers that are just known for being silly are now turning to the book sphere. And how that was a really interesting trajectory. And I've been thinking about making a podcast about it, and I saw people talk about it, and I was like, I never have an original idea. And then I got so mad I didn't want to do it. But then I thought about it, and I was like, I don't really have any other topics that I could talk about, and I need to talk about something book-related, because I don't know if you would watch if I wasn't. And so I'm going to talk about it. So those are our topics. But before I talk about any topics, I want to thank all of my members, all of my book haters. My members get my videos a day early when I make them. Forgive me, my dear haters. And they also get to vote on my next reads. And I'm gonna do a poll when this video is up. There's going to be a new poll with my next read, because I have to announce it here. I think my next review is going to be Haunting Adeline, just so I have a little bit more, because I've already read that. I have a little bit more time to read another book before I have to film again. Just so it makes a little bit more sense. But anyway, just so you guys know what's coming. And then we can close the chapter on the dark romance era that I had for the first 3 months of this year, because the options for my book haters are not going to be dark romance. Fuck that! I don't want to read it anymore! Like, maybe in a month. But I need a break, you know? I need a breather. Like, I need to read something really silly and dumb. Like a fantasy. I can't read any more dark romance. Don't make me do it. But they get to vote on my next reads, and they also get exclusive content such as my Ruby Red movie commentary, and they get cool stickers for the comments, a badge next to their name, and my eternal peace and love and gratitude. And it's also just a way to support me and support me in the sense that I can buy the books that I am reviewing for you guys. That's what the money goes towards. So I want to thank my members, because since my last video, which was, what was my last video? I don't even remember. It was, oh, my Credence review. Yes, I know why I don't remember that, because I have absolutely banished that book out of my mind. I don't want to see it anymore, ever again. I've gotten 3 new members. 3 new members have joined the Book Hater Club, officially, since my last video, so we have to honor them. This video is dedicated to you. So, my members, they are Haley B, Ashley Ranger B, Mrs. Preminger, Trinity ELW, Clara S, Kushimita, Deja, Queen Sif, Courtney, Haley Charles, Grace, Elovette, probably Brie, Marissa, Simons, Asteria, Lacey Lace EDC, Joe Beans, Samwise, and then my 3 new members are Usagi Swimfree, Megan May, and Carrie G. Thank you so much for joining. I have to make a little X-course. No, do you say X-course in English? I don't know. I have to make a little detour. That's how you say it, probably. And chat a little bit about your guys' names of the members, because obviously I don't know anything else besides the names. And so for the first one, Usagi Swimfree, is that an anime? I say that like with my anime shit in the background, I don't know, but I genuinely don't know. Isn't that like I don't know if it's called Swimfree, but the first thing I thought of was that swim anime, and I never watched it, so I don't know. The only sports anime I've ever watched was Haikyuu, and oh, Yuri on Ice. I cannot, I glued on some lashes, guys. It's not working for me, I have to be honest. I wanted to like really come back with a bang, but it's not looking good. But anyway, is it worth watching? You guys let me know. Usually I just watch shonen, but I like watching other things occasionally. What I don't like is those like high school girl animes that for some reason only young adult men watch. And as you guys know, I did a Japanese course last semester, and I could have done, wait, I have to see, okay, I've talked for a while, I can't mention it now, because my boyfriend never watched this far into my videos. I could have done like the next up Japanese course, but I didn't want to, and I told him I just forgot to sign up, but I just didn't want to sign up. He was urging me, he was like, oh, now you've done the beginner's course, like do the next up, and it was technically nothing speaking against it, I just didn't want it. I just didn't want to do it. I'm busy. You know what I mean? Like, I have other things to do. I don't want to do it. I don't care that much. That being said, all of the dudes that were in that course with me, it was a little, I hope they don't watch this. I hope they never find out who I am. I saw them all on campus yesterday. I go to campus once, because I never go to uni, and they're all there. I didn't say hi. I was scared. They sent a list in the group chat once, like of like an anime track, like Goodreads for anime, and it was just like high school girl animes. This doesn't feel right, you know what I mean? So I don't like watching that. I don't fuck with that. I want to see bloodshed. I want to see, I don't really know what I want to see. Definitely not boobs, but it's kind of unavailable. But if I watch the Swimfree anime about men swimming, maybe there's still boobs in there. Alas, you guys let me know. I don't know, okay? And then Megan May, I just think that's a really pretty name. And you also have an animated, is that Yu-Gi-Oh? I'm being so uncultured right now. Is that like a Yu-Gi-Oh, one of the later seasons? Because I actually, guys, stopped watching after the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And then with my boyfriend, I started watching 5Ds. No. Yes. Is that the other one? Is that the next one? I love 5Ds. No! GX! Yu-Gi-Oh! GX! Generation Next! That's how it goes. I I know my things, okay? I didn't watch 5Ds. That's the one after that. I didn't watch that. We didn't watch that. Only the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And then GX. And I wanted my mom to name my, I want to say son, my brother Bakura. Because I really love Bakura from Yu-Gi-Oh! And for some reason she said no. Which I still think is kind of disrespectful from her. So that I was a really diehard fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was a child. I didn't know how to play the game, I collected the cards. Alas. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I love that for you. And then Carrie G, also thank you so much for becoming a member. You're the newest member. And I saw that you commented under one of my videos. Which one was it? I think, yeah, it was a check-in made review that I did about Ailey Hazelwood. By the way, Bright is gonna be on the list for votings. And I'm gonna be surprised if it doesn't win. I don't know what else I'm gonna put on there. Powerless, I think, and also One Dark Window. But I wanna do a fourth. Maybe Book Lovers? Oh, I think I'm gonna be fucking bored. Reading Book Lovers. But alas, like, I have to read it at some point. I have to know what the fuss is about Emily Henry. I think she just came out with Funny Story. Is it really that fucking funny? Anyway, Mrs. I'm sorry, I don't know why I just said that. Carrie G said under my comment, guys, I'm so sorry. See, I'm so out of it. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this anymore. To the filming. Anyway, you said because I was talking about the fact if you haven't watched my, what is it called? It's literally right here on my phone. I don't know why I just forgot the name. Check and Mate review. I was talking about the fact that the most prevalent thing about that book was the fact that it felt so forced and cringe. Because it's a millennial writing about Gen Z and what she thinks Gen Z are like and how they act. And so it feels very, I don't know if performative is the right word, but it feels very fake, right? Because she doesn't know, because she is not Gen Z. And so at one point, the main character, who is supposed to be like 17 or 18, goes, instead of saying shit, she says shiitake mushroom. Ugh, just reliving that. I don't know. You know what, Carrie? Don't comment that again. You're making me relive that shit. I just look like I'm getting flashbacks, you know what I mean? No, it's fine. I'm being dramatic. And you said shiitake mushroom is totally something we would say when we would slip up around the kids when they were little, before we were like, who cares, lol. I'll be 40 this year. And that was 20 years ago. I love that. And I looked at my analytics, okay? Because I love that everybody's watching my videos. I don't love the underage people watching my videos. Fuck off. I have to be a little bit more, like, authoritarian with them. Do not watch my videos. I talk about fucking. I don't want the kids to see that. You know, I don't want to be responsible for that. Anyway, but I think most of the books at this point that I review, like, are new adult and not young adult, right? I think the young adult line is so blurry at this point. Great topic for a podcast episode. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe the next one. And, you know, I need to make a list with topics. But what I wanted to say is, because of this comment, I looked at my analytics, because I never look at my analytics because I don't know what they mean. I don't know statistics. Guys, I passed my math. I already said it. I passed all of my exams. My math and statistics exams, I passed, guys. So, like, theoretically, I do know a thing or two about statistics, but that's just on paper. So, anyway, I looked at my analytics, and you can see in the app, because there's an app for creators specifically, the age of your viewers. Oh, actually, it's the last 28 days. Can I do, like, since creation? I can. Okay, so, since the creation of my channel, which was on the 27th of April, 2019, do we need to celebrate that? Maybe. That's coming up next month. Let's see if I can think of something to do. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do, but I'll think of something. So, it gives you a little overview. Obviously, this is in German. I can just show you guys. The first age group is 13 to 17, so all the underage bitches is 3.3%. That's good. That's not that many. They accidentally clicked. Because 13 is just so young. You know what I mean? And 17 is like, you know, you're curious, okay, but 13, and then the most prevalent age group is 18 to 24, which is 53.6%, and then the next up is 25 to 34%, 34, what the fuck, 25 to 34 years of age, and that's 33.5%, and then 35 to 44 years old is 6.6%, so You are in the minority, Jerry. I wanted to call you Jerry. Carrie. And I don't want to say Gary. I'm just all over the place. I'm so sorry. But it kind of goes down, you know, so most of the people watching are my age. But it's so interesting. I've had someone comment once and they were like, I'm gonna be 60. And I was like, you could be like my parent. You could be like my parent and you're watching. And and then I was thinking like, am I still, like, I love that, but am I gonna be 60 and still reading these books? Probably. Like, why would I ever read something else? I love this. I love hating. I love ranting. Imagine, like, me at 60 sitting here and still ranting. Ugh, but then the ages would come and they would be hating. But I love that. Anyway, so thank you to all of my new members for joining. I appreciate it so much, and I'm gonna do my best to post more, guys. Really, I want to, you know, I really want to, but it's just been really, in German you would say drunter und drüber, which is like all over the place, like drunter, drüber, like up, down, everywhere. It's been everywhere. My life's been everywhere at the moment, and so it's not been possible for me, but I'm trying my best. That being said, I think we should go into our first topic for today, which, let me pull down my pants. So the first topic, guys, let's get into it. It's just a little anecdote before we get into the main topic for today. I was chilling on Instagram, on my personal Instagram, as one does, and that is like, it has nothing to do with books. I do not concern myself with books in the meantime, but the topics, they always find me. They always find me and they haunt me. And so I was watching someone's story, and for some reason they're getting so bold with the ads in between stories, right? I'm getting like 3 in a row. Sorry. You're making enough money as it is. Do I need 3 ads in a row? Alas, I was watching it and then I got an ad for, and I took a screenshot, guys. I can show you the promotional picture because I could not believe my eyes. I looked at it, I read it, I scrolled. And then I was like, wait, did I just see that correctly? And then I went back. And it's this, it's in German, guys. It's a German little story. Can you see? Oh, don't look at my crusty phone. There's also no screen protector on it right now. There's so many scratches. So watch the ads. I'm just kidding. I'm not using the money to put into my channel. I'm using it to buy myself a treat, like a new phone. But I need my phone to make my content. So, no, I'm just kidding. I love my phone. Anyway, yeah, you can see it. So, this, as you can see, it says right here, The Serpent and the Wings of Night. You're going to be like, okay, what does it say? What more does it say? And you can see escape room, and you're going to be like, sorry? Because that was my reaction when I saw it. I was like, this is like a fake commercial for something, like a fake ad. Who the fuck is out here making an escape room for The Serpent and the Wings of Night? Which, by the way, guys, I want to say I read that book. Do you remember? Because it's on Kindle Unlimited by Carissa Broadbent. I read it. And there's a sequel to it. And it's so insane to me because the German translations just released. And remember, in my podcast episode, was it the last one? About dark romance? Can I remember anything that I ever do? Apparently not. No, about Colleen Hoover. The other one. Episode 16, I talked about dark romance, and I mentioned that there was a German booktok girlie who always talks about dark romance. She's like the dark romance ambassador, and she just read The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and she loves it. And for some reason, they just released the German translations, both the first and the second book together. They have sprayed edges, they have foiling on the hardcover. They put so much effort into making these books look like something. It's so crazy to me. It's like, how is that economically, I don't know, wirtschaftlich? How does it make sense? How does it make sense business-wise? How are you not losing money on this? The production cost must be insane. Or are they using similar, because Germany, I've talked about it before, they spray every edge. Any edge they can find, they will spray. No one is safe. Do they use the same stencils, maybe, for different books? How does spray painting books work? But then the foiling on the cover, they're just really overdoing it, okay? They're really overstepping their boundaries. And now, for some reason, the publisher thought, you know what would be really cool if we made a fucking escape room about the book. And if you guys haven't read the book or you don't remember it, like I do, I actually remember it. I was forced to remember it now that I was reading the description of the escape room. It's such a boring, mediocre ass book. Peace and love, Carissa Broadbent. She's also written the Daughter of the Smoke, the Daughter of the Bones. Maybe it's the Daughter of Smoke and Bones, now that I'm thinking about it. It's like a blonde bitch on a blonde girly pop on the cover with a sword and a red dress, and people were for a while advertising, and I think they were getting paid. They were advertising it on TikTok as like the next Throne of Glass. I'm sorry. You bitches suck Sarah J. Maas's ass too much. There will never be another Throne of Glass. You will never suck up to anyone as much as her. Peace and love. And I was there. I escaped. I've escaped from there. You know what I mean? And it's so confusing to me why they would choose this. It's a book about a girly pop who's a human, but she was adopted by a vampire, a girly pop. And the vampire girly pop is the king of the vampires. And then she enters like a really dangerous game, and it's a vampire game. Everyone's a vampire. Humans are enslaved. Humans are bitches. Dumbass fucking bitches. And they're enslaved by the vampires. Arguably so. And she enters this game and falls in love with a vampire, and he's like the enemy vampire leader. And she finds out at the end, because she wins the girly pop vampire games. the girly pop vampire Hunger Games. And she can make a wish that the goddess will grant her. And she's like, I wish my boyfriend would have won. Sorry. Fuck men. Why would you ever want a man to win? No, I'm kidding. She wishes for her boyfriend to win, and then he's like, you shouldn't have done that, because I'm the enemy leader. It's like just a very like simple, predictable story. Like and I mean that with peace and love, like people enjoy it, okay? And it's not a book. If someone tells me I like Serpent and the Wings of Night, I'm like, okay, you're basic. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, it's not Colleen Hoover. It could be worse, you know what I mean? But making a fucking escape room in Munich, that is. If you're ever in Munich, you know, though I have to say I looked at it and it's booked out for, it's only on the weekend. Open on the weekend. On some, you know the days of the weekend. Saturday and Sunday. It's only open then. And it's 50 euros per person. And I think it's an hour long. And I don't even know what you're doing in it. It's just like you're playing the story and you have to escape. I think they were like simulating you in the games. Like you have to find a clue to win the games or whatever. I read it a few days ago and I should have read it again, but then I was like, I just really want to get to filming. And sometimes when I'm getting ready and I'm like, oh, I should have looked that up, I just reach a point where I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna pretend like I know. I hope nobody notices. But then it doesn't work because I tell you guys that I don't know. You know? So, that being said, if any of you, perchance, any of my German girly pops, perchance, have entered this... Sorry, I don't want to laugh at you. If you've done this escape room, honestly, like, the idea, I think, isn't even that bad. Like, making escape rooms for books, like, it's a niche that hasn't been explored yet. But why the fuck would you make it for The Serpent and the Wings of Night? Why not ACOTAR? Get that bag. You know what I mean? Think big. They couldn't get the license. I don't really know. Maybe the publisher... Wait. I can't see it. I wanted to look at my books if they are also the publisher for the German version of Throne of God. I didn't even say, you guys. The lip product of the day is the Catrice Melt and Shine Juicy Lip Balm in the shade Sunny Side Up. It reminds me of that one really popular look from the shade. It's pigmented, but it's not that pigmented. You can see on my lips. I'm just obsessed with lip product, but like also just having non-crusty lips is what I'm obsessed with, and I'm scared that my lips will get crusty. It reminds me of that one really popular lip balm. I don't know if it's a balm by a brand with C. I forgot their name, and it's called Dark Honey, Black Honey, something like that. You guys know what I mean, right? The girly pops know what I mean. There's a reason I keep saying girly pops, by the way. I'll get to it. And with our next topic. That being said, I got this, and I didn't know if it was gonna be good, and quite honestly, it's like, I think it's 5 or 6 euros. I thought that was kind of expensive. So if any of you guys from Munich ever make it to the Serpent and the Wings of Night escape room, which is in the bookstore, like on the second floor of the bookstore, let me know. Let me know if it's cool, if I can go there. I didn't even see any pictures of it. I keep, like, maybe this lip product I shouldn't recommend it, because I keep getting thing stuck on it. Ugh, I'm sorry guys, but anyway, that's it. I'm trying to say and like so much. I think I'm failing because today I had a class and I know this professor, love him. I'm kind of like, he's like, now I said it again. I kind of, we were observing him today for the first time ever. I've had him in multiple subjects, in multiple classes at this point in my uni career. And my friend and I, we noticed that man, genuinely, he's talking for 90 minutes straight, but he does not say like or a single fucking time. How crazy is that? I love that for him. I want to be that. But I've had to do a lot of presentations for him, and every time he like critiques anything regarding the presentation style, so now I never realized this before, so now I'm like, okay, the next presentation that I have to hold for him, I'm gonna be more mindful, but also if he criticizes it, I have to respect it, because that man knows how to speak. He knows business. He's a business professor. He knows business. He maybe even invented business. He looks like he did. But then again, I cannot take my... No, should I say this? I cannot take... Because I do marketing, right? And whenever these professors tell me anything about business, it's always like, okay, but what do you know? You don't have a business. You know what I mean? Like, it's silly, but it's like, you're telling me about business. Do you have a business? I don't think you do. What the good does it do if you know everything? You're just a professor at my poopy little uni. You know what I mean? Anyway, love him though. So that being said, let's all have a meetup at the fucking bookstore. At the Serpent and the Wings of Night escape room. I still can't believe that it's that book. Like, that they choose that book. They're really trying to make it into something, I feel like. They're really pushing it onto the people, onto the Germans. The Germans, they do not want it. They have no choice. We have no choice but to get it forced down our throats. Because there was also like a lot of hype pre-release for it. Which, if you're not German, you obviously don't know, but sometimes those videos sneak onto my page. I think I've talked enough about it, right? Let's get into our main topic for today, which is the lifestyle to book pipeline for influencers. And for that, I want to make a little bit of like some general... That was a fly that I just killed, guys. I'm sorry. RIP. I need to wash my hands. Do you know that one video of the woman whose baby's, how do you say, pacifier falls on the ground? She's like, I'm gonna wash that real quick, and then she pretends to get up, and she just sits back down. And she forgot to cut it. That's gonna be me right now. As if I'm gonna wash my hands. No, I'm actually going to. Love you guys. You wait here. I'm not gonna turn off the camera. You make sure that Aaron doesn't do anything silly. Alrighty, guys. As I said, I want to do a general discussion about what I'm even talking about, and then I want to amplify this at 2 examples, which one of them I know a little bit better, and the other one I don't. But I do know that some of you guys know. And I don't want to spoil it, so I won't tell you guys who I'm gonna talk about yet, who I'm gonna drag by the hair into the mud. No, I'm kidding. I don't want to fight anyone besides Colleen Hoover. That being said, what the fuck am I even talking about? Recently, I've noticed that a lot of influencers who were previously known for their influencing, no, obviously, for their lifestyle content, just like making vlogs and lifestyle content and hauls and stuff like that, have begun to venture into the book world. And I just want to make a general statement that I think reading is always good. If you read, then you are doing something for your mind. And it's good. Because oftentimes, and I do mean this with disrespect, I notice when people don't read. Like when they're like, when I tell them like, I read a lot, even if it's silly books, like I'm still reading, you know? Even if the quality of the book is not good, you're still reading. And reading is good for you. And their reaction is like, I haven't read a book since like 5th grade. It's always like, I can tell. I can tell that you don't read. You know what I mean? And also, I know this is a lot with sometimes when I'm doing group project. Sorry, I don't want to swear. It doesn't matter which. Oh my god. I was talking about group projects. A lot of the time, I notice when we're doing presentations together or whatever, like we're handing something in as a group, and I'm working with someone that when I look over whatever they wrote, it just doesn't flow. And that I don't necessarily mean that with disrespect. Like, some people just can, some people can't. But I think people who are more, like, read more have a better understanding for words in general. Do you know what I mean? And I noticed that a lot. Maybe I'm just better than everyone also. I'm just kidding. I don't mean that. But a lot of people have started changing their content, right? And people that come to my mind are... Well, I was actually looking at guys, yesterday I was Googling this to see if anyone discussed this, right, on Reddit or something. I don't really know how to use Reddit. I should maybe start doing that. But I didn't find anything on Reddit, but I found something on, like, the most random fuck-ass Trojaner virus website ever. It was called, like, Gossip Guru or some shit like that. People were talking shit about people, like, hardcore shit. And you could tell they were feeling, like, really cool talking shit about people. They were talking about someone called Steph. I have no idea who Steph is. Who are you? If you're watching, rise up. Is that Steph watching right now? I mean you. No, I don't know who Steph is. Like, an influencer called Steph that used to do influencer... why do I keep saying influencer? Lifestyle influencing content. But they did also mention, and I know them, Haley Pham. Spoiler, we'll be talking about her more. And then also Des and Sarah. Destiny Sidwell and Sarah Caroli. Who I also know those two girly pops because they hang out with the original girly pop, and the person who always says girly pop is Haley Pham. So I've been, like, subtly influencing you guys that I'm going to be talking about her. And I was actually there when she started calling her audience girly pops. And I'll talk more about it when we get to her section. But all of those people used to make lifestyle content before they started focusing in on books, which all started kind of around the pandemic. We were all locked in, we didn't know what to do, we started reading. Ugh. You know, the last resort was reading. But I find it really interesting that they all collectively have come to this point, right? And again, there's nothing really bad about this, but then it also makes me wonder, because I was saying, like, I think that people who read are just a little bit more maybe eloquent in the way they speak and everything. I don't really know how to say it. I just think reading is really good for you. And then while I was getting ready, I like putting on the podcast that Destiny and Sarah have. It's called Bookmarked. And they don't even really talk about bookish topics that much as I try to do, right? But they're also two people, and people like them already because they already had a fan base before they started creating book content. And they also, on the side, still do lifestyle content. They kind of merged the two of them. And that's just not the case for me. I'm a different kind of influencer. I'll talk about it. But I was watching it while I was getting ready. I like to have it on in the background, just kind of like as background noise. I don't really care what they're talking about. It's just interesting for me as a German, because I don't watch their YouTube videos. I don't watch their content, because it's like my TBR jar picks my next read. I don't care. Personally, I don't care about that. That's also why I'm not doing that kind of content, because I don't care about it. But podcasts? Sure. You know what I mean? Like, sure, we can do that. That's why I'm doing it. And what did I want to say? I was watching the podcast, or having it run in the background while I was getting ready. And I get to a point where they're talking about... Oh no, you know what I want to say? It's a nice look for me as a German into the life of Americans, because I know that Destiny is from somewhere in the South, and I don't know where Sarah is from. I don't know where she's from, but they were talking about it and I forgot. Peace and love. I forgot where she's from. They say it explicitly. I forgot. I'm sorry. I don't care that much. But they started talking about countries, and I kind of, I was getting ready to put on my lipstick. I looked over, and they started talking about the fact that, like, Sarah said something along the lines of, I just know I can name all... And that's not how she talks. They seem sweet, right? They seem like sweet people. She knows all of the continents and all of the oceans. And then she starts listing them. And she goes, okay, maybe I don't know. And then Sarah goes, wait, did she say... When she's saying the continent, she goes, wait, did she say Canada? And then Sarah's like, no, I didn't. Canada is part of North America. And she's like, are you sure? And then I turned it off. Because I was like, this is... Not everybody has to know everything. I couldn't name you all of the states, right? I couldn't say all American states, but if someone said name 5 states, I could. If someone said to an American, can you name 5 countries? Some of them couldn't. And so that's also why I'm saying, like, it's a nice glimpse for me into America and what's going on over there. And I thought, to a certain extent, whenever I see videos about, like, name 5 countries and they can't do it, I always kind of think that they're in on it. That the person who's interviewing them is like, just pretend like you don't know for content, for clicks. But they left that in deliberately, so they don't know. And then Sarah was like, I couldn't name 5 countries. I was like, why? Can't you? Anyway, I had to turn it off. I got ready in silence then, because I was like, I can't do that. I was cringing so bad. I'm so sorry, right? But that's what's going on over there in their podcast. Check it out if you want. I don't know if people who watch my content watch their content also, because as I said, I think that I do not very different content, but definitely different content. And also a lot of mainstream influencers have started reading, such as my camera overheating. Guys, what am I supposed to do? I'm debating if I should film this tomorrow, if I should film, but now I got ready. Anyway, the person that I wanted to mention, the mainstream influencer that has started reading, that is not known for reading and has not converted their whole content towards reading, is of course Brittany Broski. And we will be talking about her briefly, because that is the one influencer that I want to talk about that I don't know anything about, because I don't watch her content. I also don't watch Haley Pham's content anymore, but I used to, so I know a little bit more there. And I want to discuss her a little bit, because I just think it's really interesting. I think maybe a lot of people that watch her nowadays don't know about the shit that happened back in the day, right? So let me oh my god. Let's do a transition. I keep doing these transitions and they're kind of slay. Are they kind of slay? I think I found my new thing to do. Anyway, guys, it's really late and let's just do this chill. Let's just not do this as angry as I usually am, okay? Because at the end of the day, this is not that angry of a topic, and you can obviously always leave your opinions and your feelings in the comments below. It was just a funny observation that I had, right, that I wanted to discuss. And at the end of the day, I know why they're doing it. Obviously, they changed, maybe because they love reading, hopefully because they love reading and they genuinely enjoy what they're doing. But I think a lot of people jump onto the hype train because they also see that it makes them money. And honestly, there's been so many controversies on booktok with men pretending to read like ACOTAR and shit. And so I've also, on that random ass website that I was on, they were also discussing the fact that I feel like these girly pops don't actually read all of the books that they're reviewing or that they're saying they read, because it's just so many. They're just reading so many books, and that they feel like, and this is what they feel like, okay, I don't feel like this because I don't watch their videos necessarily. I was looking at the Guru Gossip website, that they read like the hyped things and that they do a lot of skimming, which whenever I do skimming, of course I tell you guys. Then I always say I don't really know if this is all accurate. And so that brings me to my next point, that what I'm gonna say, if anyone's gonna be like, no, that's also you, because you also review the books that they read, I think my content is different, right? Like, I don't think necessarily that I'm an influencer. I'm a de-influencer. Like, I tell you guys not to read the books most of the time. I've never told you guys to go read a book, for starters, right? And you guys don't know what I like. Because I don't know what I like, because I haven't found it yet. But people always ask, if I found something I liked, I would tell you. Or when people tell me, oh, can you give us a list of your recommendations? I don't have any. You have to truly let that sink, that I don't have a list of recommendations. Otherwise, I wouldn't gatekeep. I would tell you guys, right? But I just feel like I review every book that I read for you guys. I've never read a book, I think, in my career, in my YouTube career, and not reviewed it and made a full-length review about it. And all of those other book influencers, they do that. They do other videos, like the fucking TBR jar. I don't know why that keeps coming to mind. That's like the number one that keeps coming to mind. Or they do like monthly wrap-ups. I can't do that. You guys know what I read. I don't consume as much, as many books as they do. And so I think the content that they do is just very generalized for like a broad audience. And of course, hand in hand with that goes the fact that they read books that everybody reads, first of all. And I think Haley is the one. It's so weird like talking about those people because like I watched Haley right when the Visco girl thing was really big. That was when I was a teenager. That was really big. I really wanted to be a Visco girl my last year of high school, but I bleached my hair. Did you guys know that I had bleached hair at one point? Did I ever tell you guys? That was the year before I started my YouTube channel. I had bleached hair. From home. And it wasn't bad. Anyway. I really wanted to be a Visco girl and I got like a puka shell. A puka shell necklace! I've never said it out loud. I got one. And I think that Haley does the most creative kind of content. Probably because she's been around the longest. Just from what I know, she's been doing videos for such a long time. But she's always kind of like, how do I say it? Like always kind of wiggled into the niche that was really popular at the time. She was part of that Visco movement. She also went on those Tarte trips because as far as I'm concerned, right, she also went. Like all of them went. And there was also drama back then about the Tarte trips, but now they're doing it again. It's also so interesting to see how consumer awareness has shifted. Because back then, when Tarte sent influencers on trips, everybody was celebrating it. And everybody was like, this is so cool. We love this. And they were doing it so regularly. And now they're doing it once again because they were like, oh, we've done it in the past. It was a hit. They do it again and everybody hates it. It's crazy, right? So interesting for my marketing ass. But I do have to write my bachelor's thesis soon-ish, next semester. So I do need to start thinking about what I want to write about. And I do feel like I kind of want to write about the book industry and how that's changed because of social media and digitalization. Would that be interesting? I don't know. I haven't told anyone yet. You guys are the first ones to know. That being said, they read all of the things that are popular, and I am no better. Because people are going to say, you also only read what's popular. Yes, but I'm going to say again, I de-influence. I don't influence you guys to read it, right? Or have I ever reviewed a book and you were like, oh my god, that's so bad, I want to read it? Maybe. Or people watch my videos when they've already read the book. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm not sitting down and doing like a wrap-up of the books I've read this month. And it's 13 books of like white cis authors who all write the same shit. Because I feel like at the end of, I was thinking about it, if I've ever reviewed like a book that was popular, that was by like at least a POC author. Do you say POC? That just makes me think of Twitch. Or do you say POC? Do you not say POC as one word? I should say POC. POC, like with G, you know what I mean? Ugh. You know what? I hate streamers. I'm just gonna say it. I hate streamers. I had a phase where I was watching a lot of streamers. I am sitting in a G2 chair after all, but I'm over that. That was when I was 18. I was crazy when I was 18. Bleached hair, watching streams. I don't even know who I was. And I don't know who I am now. But what did I want to say? Oh, POC. From POC authors. And the only author that came to mind directly, because she's been in topic of discussion, is the author of Iron Widow. They go by Datum. And there's also been some controversy, not that they were like being controversial, but I don't know if you guys heard about it. And I was like, maybe I should do a podcast episode about that too. That some sci-fi award show didn't qualify their book and also R.F. Kuang's Babel for unknown reasons. And those awards are being held in China. And there's like this conspiracy going on that's not really a conspiracy. Like, we're really sure that this is the case. Allegedly, I still have to say, that they didn't want to have those books be eligible for nomination to win an award because they are criticizing the Chinese government. How crazy is that? And then that got leaked. And now they look real stupid. But I feel like nobody cares. Have they read Iron Widow? I mean, I didn't like it, just because you're a POC or you're not straight doesn't mean I'm gonna like your book. And some people don't get that. Like, just like, do you want me to review books by POC that are bad? Good? Do you want to have them get special treatment? I'm not gonna do that. If it's bad, it's bad, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to attack them necessarily. I think that the author, she does a lot of good for the book community with uncovering, like, all of the drama going on and everything. I don't dislike them as a person, just their book. But I do hope they get their sequel out soon, because there's also drama surrounding that the publisher is not releasing the sequel because she has spoken up for her support for Palestine. That being said, I hope they get to release the sequel to their book, because I feel like I talk about Iron Widow in every fucking podcast episode, but it's just so crazy to me that they've been held back so much. And I feel really bad for them, so I do hope that they get to release their book. And I do want to read off Kwang some point this year, one book. Either Babel or The Poppy War. Is it the multiple wars? Poppy War? Is it just one war? I don't know, because I haven't read the book. You guys let me know. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that they're not using... And I'm excluding Haley from this, because I specifically know that she reads different kind of books, because I looked at her Instagram story the other day and she was reading something. I was like, what the fuck is that? So she tries to do something different, and she has a lot of experience with like editing, coming up with content. Like, she knows what she's doing in that regard. But a lot of other influencers that get to be really popular, because there's, of course, on TikTok and stuff, also on YouTube, creators that talk about more niche books by creators of a certain, group, like POC authors and also LGBTQ plus authors, but those don't get to popularity like the people who don't know that Canada isn't a continent. Peace and love. So this is, of course, like a question, like, is it their responsibility to specifically then read those authors' books and everything? You can think whatever you like, and at the end of the day, it's not that deep. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's not that deep. It's just interesting that's like a general discussion, but it's just like interesting how they all have ventured into the book sphere. And I keep saying at the end of the day, but it really is the end of the day. Like, it's midnight. They all came from the lifestyle content, and I think during the pandemic, when they couldn't really make any because nothing was going on, you couldn't go anywhere, they started reading books, maybe, and then saw that was the new hype thing and jumped onto it. And that's also the reason a lot of mainstream non-book related influencers are talking about books now, like Brittany Broski. Let's talk about her. I do not watch her content, guys. I have to say, I do not care for Brittany. I don't know. Do you say Brittany or no? You don't say Brittany. Why do I say it like that? You say Brittany. Did I say Brittany multiple times? Why would I do that? Brittany Broski. And I know that she reads because I've gotten TikTok clips of her. And I know that she has a podcast too that she does alone. Big ups, big respect to you guys. Well, in general to you guys, obviously, but to everybody who does a podcast alone, because I know how hard it is to just sit here and yap. And her setup looks nicer than mine. But that's why you have to watch the ads. So I can get to that level, you know what I mean? I actually prepared to use my microphone today to hold it in my hand like a real podcaster. But for some reason, whenever I was recording audio with it, it just sounded like a robot was speaking. It was like a robotic voice that came out. I don't know why. I don't know if I have to sync something up or whatever, but that's why I'm not doing it. Imagine me just sitting here with my microphone. I don't know why they do that. Why do they hold the microphone in their hand? Does it make you look cooler? Just for something to do with your hands? I'm not really sure why they do it. I'm just like, I'm not throwing up gang signs behind the camera. Below the camera, not at all. But that being said, she talks about books on her podcast, and she talks about books on her TikTok, right? And some people have mentioned her in my comments before. Do you guys watch her? Peace and love? Like, I don't know if we like her. Do we like her? I don't know her. I really don't know her. I was just looking up Brittany Broski Brittany, I said it again. Brittany, why do I keep saying it? Brittany Broski books. I looked up on TikTok and looked at some clips because I did know that she read Akata at some point and that it was like a really big deal because the booktok girls were like, oh my god, alert, alert. Brittany Broski is reading Akata, as if I care. Where's Kate Middleton? That's what I care about. So she loves ACOTAR and she also loves Throne of Glass. And if you don't know what else she loves, you can take a guess right now which book I'm gonna mention next. What book could she potentially also love? Yeah. Yeah, you are exactly right. Der vierte Flügel, Fourth Wing. I translated to German, but in the German version it also says Fourth Wing. They have stopped translating titles. Serpent and the Wings of Night is also just called Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I don't know which German ass is gonna know what that means. No, like, no hate. But for some reason, nobody knows English at this point in time. And I just don't get it. I've talked about it before, I don't get it. But they used to translate titles. For example, they translated the ACOTAR title completely into German. And at this point, they just leave the English title and give it a second name, and like an additional name, so you know which one is the first one and the second one. And so it's called Flammengeküsst. Fourth Wing is called Flammengeküsst, which means kissed by flame, kissed by fire. Who thought of that? Put me on your marketing team. I would think of something better. Not that I can't come up with anything spontaneously on the spot. You're putting me on the spot. I'm kind of uncomfortable. No, I'm kidding, but what did I want to say? Yeah, she loves Fourth Wing. I saw her. I'm sorry. I'm like close to falling asleep. I keep closing my eyes. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should film in my bed next time. Just getting cozy, you know what I mean? Like a different vibe. But she's talked about the fact in the TikToks that I saw that she was reading Iron Flame and she didn't fuck with Iron Flame that much. And then she made some really interesting comments that I don't know, like, the age of her audience, and this is, again, another topic about the responsibility of the creator with their audience who's consuming the content they are making and how explicit they are going to be on it. But she keeps saying, like, oh my god, Iron Flame, I just want them to fuck. I think she doesn't say fuck, I think she just said boink. Okay, censoring queen. Boink. You know what? When I was in my gaming era, there was another anecdote, you know, because haven't made enough in this video. There was a dude that randomly joined, and it was someone's friend. I don't know where they fucking got him from. His alias on League of Legends was Bonk. And so whenever I say anything that remotely sounds like Bonk, I get PTSD because that man was so fucking dumb. Ugh. I genuinely have to take a break. I'm getting, like, mad thinking about Bonk. But alas, she has made it clear she just wants him to bonk. Boink. Ugh, bonk. Now he's in my head again. I hope he's doing bad. You know what I mean? I hate that man. I don't know. Anyway, I don't even know his real name. She explicitly said, I want them to boink. I just want them to get it on. Like, I'm reading 400 pages and they're not fucking. What is this? And so that just, ugh, I hate that. You know, again, we've talked about it with the dark romance genre. You have a porn addiction if you're reading books just for smut, and you will not read a book without the smut. She loves Satan, and did I just say Satan? I pronounced his name right for the first time in my life. Satan is what I call him, because there's an X. I'm just saying for the people who don't know. I don't know if anyone's still watching who doesn't know, but how she can like Fourth Wing is beyond me, but it also just tells me, like, it tells you something about a person. Because with ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, you can argue, I don't know what you could argue, but you could argue if you wanted to. But with Fourth Wing, I was there when it happened. I remember when I decided to read it, I was with my boyfriend, and we were in a shisha bar. Whatever! Hookah bar, hookah lounge. I wasn't smoking, don't worry about it. And he was playing cards with his friend, and I was like, there's this book going viral right now. It's called like it's called like Fourth Wing. Like, maybe I should read it. And I wasn't playing cards. I was kind of bored. And he said, sure, go read it. And then I downloaded it in the hookah launch with their Wi-Fi. Thank you to the hookah launch again. And started reading Fourth Wing then and there. And it was like, everything changed. Everything changed. My whole life changed. I mean, everyone's life changed with Fourth Wing. Ugh. The fact that... And what's going on with my mind? Alas, guys, alas, the point I'm trying to make is Brittany Broski has so many followers already from just being her. Just like her content. I don't know what content she does. I think she does like silly little content. Silly little content, which is great, I guess. Like, I don't know if she's been controversial. I don't know what she's up to, but people seem to love her. And so the question is, like, she's like actively promoting Fourth Wing to her audience, who consists of readers, I'm sure, but also of people who don't read. And now those bitches go and buy Fourth Wing, and it's just like a whole nother epidemic. No, it's like a whole nother pandemic. It's worse than COVID. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the C word on here, like both of the C words, but I've never had any issues to this point. I'm just gonna be a little cautious. You know, people who censor themselves, it's like, I always wonder, because I've never had any issues with being, like, saying the words and not getting monetized. I wonder if that's just an issue that I will maybe face if I had more subscribers, if I ever get there. But nobody can censor me. I will never be silenced. Another throwback to Kate Middleton. What is going on with that woman? Alright, guys, let's finish this off, and it's been really long with me talking about Haley Pham, and halfway through I'll start taking off my makeup, okay? Because I did it just to look nice for you guys, but at the end of the day, I really want to go to bed. I'm really tired. I hope you respect that. We can take off our makeup together. Get bed ready together. But not sleep together. That's where I draw the line. Let's talk about Haley Pham. Haley Pham is a book creator too. She's married to Ryan Trahan. I know his last name. The blonde dude. The fucking Ryan Trahan, who also does YouTube videos. They are married. She is now, I don't know how old she is now. I think she is now like, she's younger than me. No, she's older than me. No. Is she older than me? She is either the same age as me, which is 23, or she is a year older or a year younger. Okay? Doesn't matter. I think 1 year doesn't really matter necessarily. I looked it up. I forgot it. Her birthday is on the 5th of December. I know that, but I forgot which year. Maybe 2000. Then we're not that far apart. A month. Could have been twins. You know what I mean? We also look alike, kind of. We don't. So she started making videos when she was 12, and she kind of started making videos about dancing, because she used to be a dancer. That was like her shtick. I think all of the Visco girlies that were really popular at the time, a few years ago, like 5 years ago, they always had to have something that stood out about them. So we had, for example, Emma Chamberlain, the blueprint. My fucking god. I don't know if she did anything special, like if she had any hobbies necessarily, but she was just the OG, you know what I mean? And then the only one that I can think of right now is Luna, whose last name I don't know, but she was also a dancer, like the ballerina, and they were all kind of thrown into the same group, and then they were also all just friends, okay? And now, Haley, I don't know if she's still friends with them necessarily. I don't think she is. Now she's friends with new people who make the same kind of content as her. So it's just kind of like, I mean, they're all still young. They're like my age. We're all young. So you're still developing, and you're not gonna stay friends with everybody forever, especially if it's just like a YouTube business thing. But that's what I mean, like she's wriggling herself like a little worm into all of the niches that are really popular at the moment. And she's making good fucking money with it. Peace and love, I'm sure. I want to make that kind of money. I remember when she moved into a fucking big ass house, and that was like the first time when she was like vlogging, looking for a house with her husband. She was like, I'm gonna have my mom live in here too, and she kept vlogging these houses and showing them, and my German ass, I was sitting there, I was just thinking, why the fuck do you need this big of a fucking house? That was like the first time I became aware of like the giganticness of America. Why the fuck do you need a 10-bedroom house? Who are you inviting? Who are you having over? What are you doing? I would be scared. I would be scared of a squatter. I'm gonna be honest. I even don't want a house that's big like that. That being said, that was the first time I became like conscious about America. And she was one of the Visco girls, but she also made content about just like school and everything. But then she ended up dropping out of high school, which is fine. we're not gonna judge anyone. But then she started talking shit about college, and I remember this, that she would be, that because people would ask her, and she just talked about everything on her channel, and she would be like, ugh, I don't want to go to college. I don't remember verbatim what she said, and I don't know if that is still up on her channel. But she would talk about how she doesn't want to go to college and how she thinks going to college is unnecessary. So then I was kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna go to college. Look where I am now. College. Fuck. I'm kidding. But she did talk shit about going to college, and that's kind of when it, I don't know if I want to say that, but it started crystallizing itself that she's maybe a little bit like, not close-minded, I don't want to use that word, but she just doesn't think that far. You know what I mean? And then she dropped the Grease video, and I'm just telling you guys this because I know that she's a popular book creator at this point, and she just recently had merch released, bookmarks. She's doing me after. That's not what you say. I say it a lot, but not to you guys, but in my real life, to my boyfriend, I always say, you make me after. And it's the literal translation of the German expression nachmachen, which means to do what someone else is doing. And then the literal translation of the word nachmachen is doing after. So you're doing me after. You're doing what I'm doing. I'm doing bookmarks. Stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram at HonestlySophieYT. There's another fucking fly. It's not a big ass fly, okay? That's not what I'm killing. It's the mosquitoes. They're coming out of their fucking nests. Ugh, I hate them. They love my blood. I have sweet blood. That's why I was always scared of, like, vampires when I was younger. I genuinely had a fear of vampires when I was younger. And tsunamis. I live in rural Germany. There are no tsunamis. I don't have to worry. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take off my makeup. I'm sorry, I really want to go to bed. This is like the least professional kind of content you could possibly make. And my boyfriend always tells me, you can't let them know that you don't know. They have to believe that you know what's going on, but I genuinely don't know what's going on most of the time. And so I also don't know what's going on right now, but I do know that I have to get up soon for work, and I want to sleep as soon as I turn this camera off. So that being said, I'm just kind of talking about Haley because I also don't know if the people who are watching this, if you guys who are watching this, know of her and watch her and maybe don't know about this. Just because that video what I'm going to talk about now, the Grease video, is definitely deleted off her channel, but I was there when it dropped 4 or 5 years ago, and it was the craziest thing ever because this girly pop is what she, oh my god, I just ripped out a real fucking lash. She started calling her fans girly pops at some point, and she was always like, I'm anti-girly aesthetic, and now she's not anymore. She also loves Jesus, which is important for this story, which to each their own, you know, I don't really care about whatever you believe. She went to Greece with her then fiance, or actually, I don't know if they were, no, they weren't engaged yet, but they were boyfriend-girlfriend, Ryan. And she made several very odd comments in that video, and I don't think anybody knows of this now. And of course, I think at the time she uploaded this, she was 18. She could have learned from the situation and moved on, but at the end of the day, it's always so crazy to me when people really, really fuck up, and then to think about the fact that they sat down, they recorded, and they edited. And when she's doing like effects and shit, that means she had to go over that video multiple times to add the effects in, which, guys, that's why I don't do it. You know what, when I watch myself with my videos, and I don't, by the way, use makeup wipes. They're really, makeup vibes, just the vibes, no wipes, because they're really bad for you, because obviously I can't get out right now, so I'm gonna do it just as a, but I'm gonna cleanse my face after, okay? Just, it's not good for your pores. That being said, she uploaded this video about Grace, and she could have learned from the situation, obviously, but she's then continued to make controversial, I don't know, not statements, but like, act controversially in the future after this video. So at the time she did this, she was 18 and I was watching it as it was happening. And she went to Greece. I remember she went to Santorini, which is really, really popular with influencers because it looks really pretty. I've never been to Santorini, but I have been to Greece. And let me tell you, they fuck. Not that I know that they fuck, but I'm just saying, like, they go hard. I love Greece. And in the video, she, for one, makes the statement that you should not go to Greece because they are struggling economically at the moment. And also their government is struggling. She says that in the video. Advertising like people actively to not go to Greece because, you know, they're struggling and their number one resource is tourism. And so you should not go to Greece because that would mean they could maybe grow economically again. That would be terrible for them. Really odd statement to make. Like, don't go to a country because they're struggling economically. And then she also said that Santorini is really boring and that she would not recommend anyone going there because there's no beaches and there's nothing to do and it's really boring and the streets are small. And it doesn't look like on Instagram. Oh my god, can you see that my eyes are glued together because of this fucking eyelash glue? That's so embarrassing. So several statements about just Greece that I don't really know how you can jump to those conclusions, right? Like, they just strike me as very odd. But it didn't end there. After she advised you not to go to Greece, she talked about how she was like, she misbooked flights and everything, and because she didn't know about time zones and whatever. It happens if it's your first big trip, you're 18 years old, you're flying to a different country, you know, whatever. But then it like kind of derails her story time because she starts talking about the fact that she got a vaginal infection. And you're gonna say like, okay, overshare, but she like talks about everything. Or I don't know if she still does. She used to talk about everything. She was very open about everything. And she talks about the fact that she got a vaginal infection, a really bad one. And then, to be more specific, she said it was so bad she couldn't even look at it. She describes it in like graphic detail. She also says what it was. I'm not going to tell you guys. People re-uploaded the video, you know what I mean? And then, verbatim, she says, why would I wait to do anything sexually and then get my vagina, and then my vagina gets punished? Why me of all people? And therefore she was angry at God. She said also that she was naive. I wrote this down yesterday. Like a fucking report. She said that this was naive thinking, like being mad at God for getting a vaginal infection, but she couldn't think straight. She kind of reasons herself. She's like, okay, like this can happen to anybody, I guess, but why me? Because she always made a point of wanting to stay pure until marriage, purity culture. We're not going to talk about it. She never did anything sexually. She waited until marriage to have sex, and then she gets a vaginal disease. Can you believe it? How fucking rude is that of God to give her the fucking vaginal disease? Bitch. And then she started Googling it and everything, and she said she went into the doctors and she saw the gynecologist was busy. I don't know how America works. She was back in America at this point, and the physician's assistant was examining her because the gynecologist was busy. I don't know what a physician's assistant is. Is it a nurse? I imagine it's a nurse, right? It's just a fancy way of saying nurse. No, peace and love, like, to the nurses. Love you, nurses. But just the terminology is throwing me off as a non-native speaker. And that they couldn't figure out what it was. They've never seen it before. And then she also says, after it got worse, she went back into the doctors because they told her, we don't know what it is. Like, they gave her antibiotics and everything, but they didn't know what it was. She then finally got to see the actual gyno. So she finally got to see the real doctor who could finally really help her, not the physician's assistant. So she was also disrespecting, in the same sense, the nurses. She was like, ugh, these bitches don't know anything. I need a doctor. I need a real doctor. Which, peace and love, you have to do a lot of fucking things to become a nurse. Same as like a pharmacist. People always dismiss the pharmacist. You know how much they have to fucking know? I could not do it. I also don't care that much about chemistry, you know, so I couldn't do it. But it's always so insane to me when people start getting disrespectful to healthcare workers, as if they didn't have to go through extensive training to get where they are. You had a really rare fucking disease on your coochie. And I'm sure the doctor didn't know, looking at it, what it was. She had to go Google it or look it up. Because she says it's ultra rare to get this disease, and you can only get it if you're not sexually active and you're a teenage girl. And one other thing that I don't remember what she said. And then she also said that she got her period while she had this infection. And so they were like, I don't want to describe it to you guys because it's nasty, but the period blood was basically touching the infection and then it really burned. And so in my head I was like, okay, so this tells me that she also did not use tampons for her period, which I just want to say right now, your tampon is not going to... oh my god, what's it called in English? What is it called in English? Pop your cherry. What is it called in English? What's the actual term for it? Jungfrauenheld. What's it called? I'm gonna Google it, but it's not gonna affect that. People always think it is, and it can potentially, but also so many other things can. And so a lot of people that are in purity culture avoid using tampons because they don't want their. Wait, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up. English. Him. Hymen, maidenhead. Yes, they don't want their hymen to crack. They don't want their hymen to break because they think then that's like having sex. Bitch, you need something inside yourself for that thing to crack. Okay, it's just like her mentioning that offhandedly as an 18-year-old. It just kind of made me sad because I was like, do you not know? Like, what do you? It doesn't. It's a myth. It's a myth. I was gonna say the German word. It's a myth. Mythos is a German word. It's not gonna pop your cherry. Not necessarily. Also from excessive, like, you as a dancer or doing gymnastics and stuff like that, that could also potentially pop your cherry. Anyway. Maybe she just didn't want to use tampons, right? But then again, I'm thinking, like, do you rather use pads when you have a vaginal infection? Like, now we're talking about vaginal infections, but you know what I mean? Like, that's gonna rub up against it. Anyway, that's what she said. And then, oh yeah, I wrote down, it's just ignorant to spread the ideology of being intimate with someone being a sin, which I believe. Like, you're putting this out to, at that point she had a large following. If that's what you believe, that's fine. But then kind of insinuating in that video, like, not thinking about the fact that people that are watching this could potentially, first of all, not believe the same thing, but also just be offended by it. By you saying, like, all of the people who have sex before marriage should get a vaginal disease, but I shouldn't. Ugh, bitch, you know what I mean? Like, even at 18, I know that's really young, but I would have never said that. I would have never said anything like that. And then she got married during the pandemic. She got married during the pandemic, and they didn't tell anyone until months later, and then they confessed that they had, like, a mostly mask-free wedding. So they weren't even wearing their fucking masks. And I think it was just kind of like a situation where they didn't want to wait any longer. They really wanted to fuck, peace and love. That's why they also got married. They got married at like 19, I think. Allegedly, I don't know exactly. They just really wanted to have sex. And then they got married during the pandemic because they couldn't wait any longer, because imagine they would have had to wait 3 years or 2.5 years. That would have been fucking insane. Ugh, sorry, nobody can wait that long to have sex. And then I think it was also just a situation of, like, I'm gonna apologize later. Like, we're gonna do it now and they're gonna figure it out, but then when they figure it out, we'll just apologize. Like, it'll be fine. You know, they made that decision actively. And so there's been a lot of fuck-ups with her and Ryan, and I haven't followed her as closely now. So I don't know the content she makes. I know she makes vlogs with both Sydney, who's that? Sarah and Destiny. Who the fuck is Sydney? Did I just manifest a new booktalker? Booktuber? What am I saying? But again, I think she reads the most variety of books, and she's also vocally against smut. Like, she will say, I don't want to read books with smut in it, and I think that's also the reason she reads the most variety of books, because the popular ones always have smut in them, and she's like, I don't want to read smut, that's not godly. Which, arguably, like, some other Christians and people of other religions wouldn't agree, because I see their bookshelves, and they are devout religious people, and they read the smuttiest fucking books. So, it's just, like, your personal opinion. Like, you personally draw the line for yourself. Ugh, I said that really nicely. I love everybody. Happy everything. Hope everybody's happy. Love you. Guys, that's it for today's video. My camera is overheating again. Maybe I'll film a silly little outro later if I want to say anything else. Other than that, guys, I have no time right now. I'm so sorry, this is such an abrupt ending. I just wanted to bring up Haley just to kind of show you guys some things that happened with her in the past that I knew about. 'Cause I just wanted to talk about it with someone. You know what I mean? Like, if you heard about it while or you were experiencing it while it happened, let me know. Because I've never spoken to anyone about this, that I was experiencing this. And it's like kind of like a mini Roman Empire for me. Like, every now and then, whenever I see her, I just think of that situation, you know what I mean? And so I wanted to point it out. Let me know your guys' opinion on everything I spoke about. Please be respectful. I love you so much. I promise I will try to be more active, but please be patient with me. Like, there's a lot going on. And I can't tell you guys, sadly, what it is, but everything's fine, but just, like, maybe at some point in my life I can. Anyway, that being said, I hope you stay happy, you stay healthy. Peace and love. Sorry for this being so long. Thank you to all of my members. And I hope I see you in my next video. Bye bye!